The New York Giants fall to the New Orleans Saints 14-11 at the buzzer. Graham Gano lined up a 30-something yard field goal to send the Giants to overtime, but it was blocked. And maybe you wanted the Giants to win, and maybe you wanted the Giants to lose. But today is a day of celebration, even though the Giants lost. Because with the Giants' loss, they continue to own the number 2 overall pick in the NFL draft. You got a lot of help today. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they won their football game. So you move from pick slot number 3 to pick slot number 2, and you are this much closer to landing your next franchise quarterback. And if you want the Giants to get the number 1 pick in the 2025 NFL draft, smash that thumbs up icon. And if you really want them to get the number 1 overall pick, type me down in the chat as well. Look, I know there's some people who are going to be mad at me. Marshall, why are you rooting for them to lose? You shouldn't want them to lose. La, 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 la. You know what? Today was really a check all of the boxes for Marsh happiness today. 1, Drew Lock played good enough to win the football game. I am now more confident than I ever was on my Drew Lock takes that if he was the quarterback for this team, for the whole season, they would not be the laughing stock of the National Football League. Drew Lock played well enough for the Giants to win this game. Marched you down into enemy territory with no timeouts trying to go win a game. Malik Nabers looked like a wide receiver 1 on that final drive with a terrible offensive line. Lock hung in there, made plays inside the pocket, outside the pocket. But the best news of the day today is that you lost. You move up in the draft order because a win. If the Giants would have beat the Saints in this ball game, they would have fallen all the way down to pick number 7. And you would have been out of striking distance to go land your next franchise quarterback. And I'll say this. Today is a day that we will all remember as Giants fans, especially when, I'm not saying if, I am saying when the quarterback you select in this draft in the first round brings Lombardi Trophy number 5 to 1925 Giants drive. When Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders wins the Giants their next Super Bowl, we are all going to be thankful that Graham Gano had that kick blocked because it wouldn't have been possible to select that next guy if he didn't have this kick blocked. So from me to everyone here at Giants Now, Graham Gano, we appreciate you. Show him some love. Type those 9s down in the comments section. Alrighty, let's talk some football. I was actually proud of the way the Giants defense played today. The Saints are a joke. The Saints are not a good football team. There's no if, and, or buts about that. But, man, you played great on defense. You were down Bobby Okereke. You were down Dexter Lawrence. You were down a lot of starters on the defensive side of the ball. And it was the run defense that I was most impressed with. I bet one of the more popular bets in Las Vegas today was the over on Alvin Kamara yards. You hold him to 44 yards on just 17 touches. Major shout out to Elijah Chapman. Brian Burns made some plays today. Kayvon Thibodeau made some plays today. Micah McFadden was running around like his hair was on fire. We saw Jordan Riley make some plays. We saw people make some plays that we have never even heard of before. Overall, your defense deserves a good job and a heck of an applause outside of one play where you couldn't even line up correctly in the second half and you allowed a wide open touchdown to Juwan Johnson. Also, you had your first interception of what seems like 13 weeks. Oh, yeah, because it had been 13 weeks. You hadn't had an interception since week 1, but it was Trey Hawkins, who I actually thought played a pretty decent football game, came away with an interception. So even though I still think Shane Bowen should be fired, a round of applause for the New York Giants defense. They competed today, and all I ask for at this part of the season is heart. Show me. Show me. Don't tell me. Show me you still got something thumping in your chest. I thought the defense, I love that, played pretty good football today. Drew Lock. Smitty, you told me something after the game. Drew Lock did what when it comes to passing yards?
Relative to Daniel Jones, Drew Lock has this amount of yards, 227. Daniel Jones only done that 4 out of 10 times that he threw the ball this year.
So this is the 5th most yards that
a quarterback has thrown for this team this season.
I don't think that's good. Look, is Drew Lock the savior? No. Is Drew Lock a long-term piece on this team? No. But he made enough plays today where I was impressed with the way he threw the football. Darius Slayton drops 2 35-yard gains. He puts the ball on the money a couple of times deep to Malik Nabers. We saw him make a play on a 2-point conversion. Ball did pop in the air, but he got it done. What about the pass he throws to Malik Nabers on the left sideline where Nabers gets down at the 1-yard line, a ball on the money, and he gave his guy a shot in a 50-50 chance. And I also continue to be impressed by the wheels of Drew Lock. Thought he played all right, man. Thought he played all right. 60 more yards on the ground. He shows that he can be an athlete when needed. I still think he's the best quarterback that suited up for the Giants this year. I'm happy with the way he played. Another guy I was really happy with was Daniel Bellinger. Bellinger gets an increase in snap count due to Theo Johnson being out for the year. 5 catches, 45 yards. I was impressed with him. He looked for contact after the throw. I still feel like the Giants have not utilized Bellinger the correct way in the last 2 seasons. I think he's a tight end 2, and at minimum a tight end 3 that should get more reps. Maybe I'm just partial to the fact that he made some big plays his rookie year, but I've always been a fan of Bellinger, and I wish they'd get him a little bit more involved. Look, Malik Nabers, good to see him back getting active. 5 receptions, 79 yards. He was an inch away from a touchdown. Not going to take that away from him. I thought he played well, and he was pissed off at multiple times during that game. There was actually a clip in the game. I think Nabers had 2 targets at halftime. They got him the ball, and they got him active in that second half. But there's a clip where you can audibly hear it on the Fox broadcast where he says, y'all are effing calling plays like I'm not out there. And you know what, Brian Dable, I didn't think called a good football game today. I didn't think that the run game was creative. I didn't think that you did enough to put your team in a spot to win the game. The Saints gave you this game like 10 times, and you couldn't go out and take it. Nothing about today makes me more – that's a lie. I am a little bit more confident in Brian Dable. I still think he should be fired, mainly Joe Judge. He's almost that bad. Joe Shane should be fired, and I think that Dable will be a casualty because of that. But I do feel like this team fought in the second half. And you know what? They didn't ultimately quit on their coach. They kept it plugging. They kept it moving. But nothing changes. You lost to a Saints team who was god-awful. Jake Hayner played some football today. A lot of drops from Tyrone Tracy today, that's for sure. Wandale Robinson had a drop. Darius Slayton did what he did, dropped the football a couple of times. I know we're all happy, or you should be happy that they lost, but still a long way to go on the football field, and just not so sure that Joe Shane is going to be the guy to get it right. He had his binoculars out, though, looking for answers. Not on that football field. Definitely not on that sideline. We'll talk more about this game coming up in a second. First, though, I got to give a major shout-out to our proud sponsor, GameTime. If you're looking for last-minute tickets to go watch a sporting event, a concert, a theater event, a comedy show, download the GameTime app and use that promo code ChatSports, and you're going to get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. You get the best seats for the lowest prices guaranteed. You get to see your seat view in the app. You get to access your tickets from your phone. Very easy to get in the stadium. And also, it's easy to resell your tickets if you no longer want to go to the event that you purchased tickets for. Last-minute tickets and flash deals. You could have got in to MetLife Stadium and sat lower bowl for a $37 ticket. And if you use the promo code ChatSports, you would have got in there for $17. Look, it's the best out there. Best place to get last-minute tickets. Use that all-in pricing feature. That way the price you see is the price you pay. And the Game Time Picks feature as well is going to guarantee that you get your best deal in the game. So download the app. Create an account. Use the promo code ChatSports. You get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. Malik Nabers was asked about the plane that flew the banner, asking ownership to fix a dumpster fire. Rookie wide receiver, like most of the teammate, asked about it, wasn't aware of it. He says, I ain't pay for the plane. There was a plane that flew over MetLife Stadium, bought by a fan that says, Mara, this is enough. Fix this dumpster fire. And that's what you are. You're a dumpster fire right now. Just not good enough, man. You put up 11 points. I thought Dable called a lousy game. I know it's not a lot to work with when you got Josh Azudu and Evan Neal as your bookend tackles. You also had some injuries today on the offensive line. John Michael Schmitz got injured. He did not return. John Runyon got injured. He did not return. So your offensive line on that final drive was Josh Azudu, left guard, I believe, was Aaron Stinney. Then you had Greg Van Roten at center. You had Jake Kubis at right guard, and you had Evan Neal at right tackle. Every excuse in the world for the Giants to lose this game like they did and not be critical, but I thought the offensive game plan sucked. I thought it did. Take away some of the drops, though, and you might have had a chance to go out and actually win this football game. The thing that upsets me the most about this team, 2 weeks in a row, you have 10-plus penalties. It's the first time in like 30 years the Giants have had that. I still think you're a well-coached team. I don't think you're disciplined. I don't think this team knows how to win games. That's a skill. 5 of 19 on third downs. That's play calling. You had 6 first downs at the half. We're all hooting and hollering, and we're happy they lost. But, man, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing how bad the Giants are. It really is. And you're a joke. You are the laugh of the town. You're 0-7 at home this year. You haven't won a game at home. I still believe Joe Shane should be fired, and I still think Brian Dable should be fired because of that. We'll talk more about that throughout the week. That's why you subscribe. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up icon and make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_.